welcome to practice. We are going to be kind of infused in nature today. I'm calling this practice Earth, Sun, and Moon because we're going to be welcoming in Earth, Sun, and Moon salutations in this practice. And that's kind of the format that we're working off of. And it's inspired because I've done a lot of traveling over the last couple of months to really disparate places in the world that have pretty radically different natural climates. And in every one of those locations, I've been reminded of how interconnected my sense of balance and well-being is with how I interact with the natural world. So I think the Earth, Sun, and Moon salutations all have something to teach us about the way that we are interrelated with nature. And that's what we're going to explore today. So we're going to begin in a somewhat unique position. It's called Advasana because it's Shavasana, but flipped on its belly. So you just lie on down, fully prone on your abdomen. And let's begin with the left cheek on the mat. And the arms can just be alongside you in a pretty easeful position. And I'm keeping my head and chest kind of lifted so that my microphone doesn't get completely muffled. But you should just be able to lie straight on down on the belly. And as you might imagine, this is a great position to notice your relationship with the earth. And so as you arrive here, noticing the weight of your body, resting not just on the surface of your mat, but really on the earth itself. And the way in which the earth shows up in this completely symbiotic expression of support. And we're going to come into like a cactus frog kind of hybrid position. So your left cheek is on the mat. You're going to begin to bend your right knee out and up like a little frog shape. And then have your right arm out like a cactus position. And just letting the body kind of surrender into this position. Feeling that reciprocity between the breath and the earth underneath you. Take 2 more breaths here. As you exhale, start to extend your right leg long and lift up into Sphinx position, inviting the elbows underneath the shoulders, the forearm parallel. And take about 5 breaths here in Sphinx position. And allow this to be an active Sphinx, so the kneecaps are lifting. There's a sense of pulling the heart forward through that gateway of the upper arms, and also a sense of the shoulders drawing, the shoulder blades rather, moving down the back. And for these last couple of breaths, bend your knees 90 degrees, flex your feet, try to have the feet parallel, and just notice how that movement of bending the knees may intensify the experience of Sphinx, particularly in the low back. Last inhale. As you exhale, lowering the shins, relaxing the feet, and as you lower down, move into that cactus Sphinx on the second side, bending that left knee out and up, left arm in that cactus position, and now the right temple and cheek melt down. And there can be as much or as little space between the left elbow and the left knee as feels good to you. Earth is this place of grounding, anchoring, stability, steadfastness. It's also what gives us a sense of support and therefore safety. The next time you exhale, elongate your left leg and again start to lift up into that Sphinx. You could stay here in the Sphinx, or if you wanted a more, I could say active or deeper back bend, you could lift up into seal by widening the hands and elevating the forearms, making sure that you don't welcome any tension into the neck or shoulders. And then very similarly here, start to bend the knees. This time bring the big toes together, really feeling how that small change really can intensify what's happening here. As you exhale, let the shins lower down, slide the palms back, press up onto an all fours position. We're going to set up for quarter dog. So I'm going to take my right forearm across my mat, slide my left hand forward, and then as I shift my heart back, I let my forehead land on the surface of my right forearm. I'm just taking about 3 to 4 breaths here, not very long, letting the heart melt down, like we're bowing to the earth. A sense of humility in this posture. And then we're very simply going to switch sides. So I'm going to start to lift the heart away from the mat, slide my left hand back, press up onto an all fours position for a moment. Just feel the stability of a tabletop. And then shift sides, left forearm comes down, slide right hand forward. And again, melting the heart down until the forehead lands on the left forearm. And so many of the earth practices are reestablishing that sense of connectivity and safety, but also a sense of humility, a bowing to the earth. And deep gratitude. One more breath. Sliding the right palm back as you lift the heart away, pressing up onto that tabletop position. We start to move into our earth salutations by sitting hips to heels, finding hero's pose, palms facing up. We'll move through the flow. Inhale, circle sweep arms out and up, lifting to the knees. Exhale, cactus the arms and let the hips go about halfway back and down. Inhale, lift up, look up. And then exhale like a humble bow, dropping into your child's pose. As you inhale, shift forward to all fours, round the spine to your cat. And then exhale, drop forward and down into your cow pose. From the cow, tuck the toes, press up and back to downward facing dog. And take a full breath in and out in the downward facing dog. Take one more inhale here. As you exhale, lower both knees down simultaneously. Keep your toes tucked. Windmill the right arm up, back, and around for half camel, either right hand to back of right thigh or landing on the heel. Full breath here. As you windmill, lift the left arm up, forward and down, threading the needle. Right arm lifts up, and then thread that right arm through. Take one breath in that threading of the needle. And then push down through the left hand, unthread the right hand, find that tabletop position, and then shift back to child's pose, exhale. So that's one round of earth salutation. We'll move to the second side. Inhale, lifting into your hero's, palms facing up. Lifting up, arms circle out and up towards the sky. Exhale, elbows wide, hips about halfway down and back. Inhale, lift up, look up. Exhale, humbly bowing to the earth. Inhale, as you shift forward, you find your cat position. Exhale, dropping down and lifting into your cow position. Tucking the toes from the tailbone, lifting up and back to down dog, and enjoying a full breath here. And feeling that energy of the earth. Inhale here. Exhale, lowering the knees simultaneously. Keep the toes tucked. Windmill, left arm up, back, half camel. Full breath in that Ardha Ustrasana. And then we windmill, right arm up, forward, down, threading needle. Lift left arm up. I untucked my toes and thread the left arm through. Take one breath in that threading of the needle. And then pushing into the right hand, unthread the left, breathing in the tabletop, and breathing out, shifting to child's. We'll do one more on each side, that earth salutation. Inhale, lift to heroes, palms up. Exhale, settle. Inhale, lift and rise. Exhale, cactus arms, pulling. Inhale, lifting, maybe a little back bend. Exhale, that humble bow to the earth. Pulling that energy from the earth into the body as you lift to cat. Releasing forward and down to the cow. Tucking the toes, lifting to that downward facing dog. Feeling that earth energy moving through those points of contact up and into the body. And then lowering the knees simultaneously to the mat. Keep the toes tucked, windmill, right arm up and back, half camel. Feeling that sense of support underneath you as you windmill up and down, threading the needle, right arm up, and threading it through. Noticing how that support gives you the freedom to explore deeper expressions of the shape. And then pushing into the left hand, return to tabletop to inhale. Exhale, shift to the child's pose. Last earth salutation. Inhale to heroes, palms face up. Exhale, settle into the earth. Inhale, rise upward. Exhale, elbows pull, widen down. Inhale, lift up, open the front of the heart. Feel the back bend. Exhale, humbling, bowing to the earth. Inhale, shifting forward, let the spine round to the cat. Exhale, dropping forward into the cow. Tucking the toes, lifting to the down dog. Pulling earth energy up into the body, that sense of stability. That sense of steadfastness and dependability. Lowering the knees. Windmilling left arm up and back to half camel. Enjoying a full breath. Windmilling forward and up. Release the tops of the feet. Thread the left arm through, threading needle. Full breath in and out. Pushing into right hand, unthreading the left. Inhale here. Exhale, tuck the toes, return to downward facing dog. That concludes our earth salutations. Bring with you that earth energy, that sense of security in the body, security in the practice. Looking to the front of the mat, we'll walk the feet forward to the back of the wrists as we start to shift towards our sun salutation practices. Fingertips to shins. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold and release. Sweeping those arms out and all the way up, rising up. Exhale, hands into heart center. We'll start with 2 half salutations. Inhale, circle sweep, arms out and up. Exhale, folding and also bowing to that light within you. Inhale, lifting up halfway. As we bow to the sun, exhale, fold, also bowing to that sense of inner light. Inhale, out and up. And exhale, hands gather in heart center. One more like that. In breath, rising up just like the sun every day. Exhale, bowing to that light inside of us. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, deepen. Sweeping those arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll move into 2-3-A, those really classic sun salutations as we reach up, inhale. And we reach down, exhale. We inhale to the half. We plant the hands and step back to our plank, moving through our vinyasa through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale to back bend. Exhale to the dog and hold the dog for 3. Noticing already how these sun salutations have a warming effect on the body. 2. Inhale, look to the front of the mat. Exhale, walk, step, or hop. Inhale, half. Exhale, deepen, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. But we're controlling the fire. One more A. Inhale. We don't want a wildfire here. Exhale, fold. So we're building the heat like we stoke an internal fire. Half lift. Plant the hands, step back, and move through your flow. So if you're noticing you're feeling overheated, you tone it down. We land in the dog. If you need more, some people take a double vinyasa here, where they really strengthen that ujjayi breath, kind of stoking that internal flame. Inhale, look to the front of the mat, walk, step, or maybe hop because that's more energizing. Inhale, half. Exhale, fold. What level of heat do you need? Rise to the top and hands to heart center. We're going to shift into 2 sun Bs, really classic Surya B. Bend the knees, sink the hips, find that Utkatasana chair, really fiery pose. Let it all go, fold Uttanasana. Inhale to the half, step back, move through your vinyasa. Again, deciding the level of heat you want as you find your dog. Moving to warrior 1, lift the right leg a few inches, swing it on through, planting between the thumbs. Spin left heel down, rise up warrior 1, settle for 2. One more in-breath. And then exhale, flow through that vinyasa. Up dog, down dog. Looking forward, left foot lifts a little, you step it on through, plant the right heel, lift to Virabhadrasana 1, take 2 full breaths. Strong ujjayi breath in, ride the breath out and through the vinyasa. Up dog, down dog, pause for 3. Feel that transformational heat of the sun salutations. Fire is transitional. It changes things. Look forward, a walk, step, or a hop. Inhale to the half. Exhale, fold. Then bend your knees, sink your hips, rise up to Utkatasana, and stand to Samastitihi. One more B. Bend the knees, sink the hips, chair, and fold. Notice how the breath changes with the heat. Half lift. Step or float it back. You can probably hear it in my voice because you hear me working. Vinyasa, up dog, and to the down dog. Right foot forward. Find that warrior 1. Lift and breathe. One more breath in and flow. You are part of nature. You have that energy of fire. Down dog, left foot forward. Use it for that positive transformation. 2 breaths in the warrior. Don't let it get out of control. You're in control of this heat. Flow through the vinyasa. Finding that up dog, landing in the down dog. 3 breaths.
and 2. Looking to the front of the mat, a walk, a step, or a hop, a half lift, a fold. Sweeping those arms out and up. Hands to heart center. Release the arms, close your eyes. Take this opportunity almost halfway through the practice. Feel the earth underneath you. Pull the energy of the earth up through your feet. As you rise from the earth, rising from that energy of stability, security, the assurance that you are taken care of and you can take care of. Feeling that fire inside of you, that sense of luminosity and potential. And now we'll start to move into the Moon Salutations, the energy of cycles, of honoring every phase of the journey. Blinking open the eyes if they were closed, circle sweep the arms out and up. Take a hold of your right wrist and lean to the left, finding that crescent moon. As you inhale, lift up through center, hold the left wrist and lean to the right. Inhale, coming up to center. Release the wrist, step the left foot back out wide. Find your goddess position as you drop down. Full breath in that goddess. Inhale, straighten the knees. Face the back of your mat for Trikonasana triangle pose. Left hand to shin, block, or floor. Triangle. One more breath. You pivot to pyramid pose. So I turn and look down at the mat first, release my right hand, and I often hop my right foot in a little bit to narrow my stance. Then inhale, reestablish the length in the spine, and exhale, drop into this pose with the maximum integrity I can muster here. One more breath. We're moving to low lunge on Vinyasa. So I lift my back heel, I lengthen my back leg and drop the right knee. I'm facing the back of my mat as I lift my arms and find Vinyasa. Breathing in. And then lower the hands inside my left foot, tuck my right toes, and lift to Skandasana skater's pose. This could be high or low, you decide. And then we kind of hit the reverse button because we skate to the front of our mat, and at this point we're just going to reverse that whole sequence facing the front of the mat. So I face the front of my mat, drop my left knee, and now I'm in Anjaneyasana facing the front of my space. Funny story, I was taught Moon Salutations in my very first teacher training, and then I tried to do them from one of my classes where I was graded. Totally messed the whole thing up because it's really complicated. Lower the hands down, tuck the left toes, you lift to pyramid pose. Hop the back foot in, straighten both legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold. Moon Salutations consist of what we would call a half mandala flow because we move back and forth around half of the mat. You're going to open to triangle pose, right hand to shin block or floor, left arm to ceiling as you open to triangle. And so just facing these different directions, even though we're doing pretty classic poses, can be a little disorienting. Lift up and drop into your goddess pose. Full breath in. Exhale, step to the front of your mat, arms reach up, crescent moon to the left. Lift up, crescent moon right. And now we start the whole thing on the second side because we step the right foot back and open and we find that goddess facing the other side of the mat. Breath in and out. Facing the back of your mat, find your triangle pose, drop in. So right hand is coming to shin blocker floor. Slowly lower the gaze to the mat, transitioning to pyramid. Again, I hop my back foot, which is my left foot in, and then I reestablish length and fold. And the whole time cultivating that deep breath. So I'm really honoring the cycle of this moon salutation. Lift the back left heel and drop the left knee, finding Anjaneyasana, arms lift. Breath in. Hands lower inside the right foot. Skandasana, facing long edge of the mat. Skate to the front edge of the mat. Face the front of the mat. Now we're moving through the poses, facing the front of the mat, kind of like we hit that reverse button on Anjaneyasana. Hands come down. I lift and fold into my pyramid pose, Parshvottanasana. Keep my left hand down, lift my right, and find my triangle pose. Use the inhale to lift me up. Exhale, drop into goddess facing that long edge. Inhale. Exhale, step to the front of your mat. Close the whole sequence out. We're going to do one more each side of these moon salutations. If you need a sip of water, take it. I want to just bring to your mind, notice what's missing from these moon salutations. There's no down dog. There's no vinyasa. There's none of that really fiery heat building part of the vinyasa that we think about. This is about very cyclical, more fluid, more feminine kind of energy. So as we move through this around again, think about that. What is that moon salutation really inviting us to in our practice that maybe we miss when we're only doing sun salutations every time we come to the mat? So find that mountain pose. We're not going to necessarily move more quickly, but we're really going to embrace that energy of the moon cycle, one flowing into the other. When you're ready, inhale, arms sweep out and up. Find the right wrist, lean into your crescent moon over to the left. Inhale, breath picks you up, switch to the left wrist and fold right. Inhale, lift up, step left foot back and wide, drop into goddess. Inhale here. Exhale, transition to triangle facing the back of your mat. Inhale in the triangle. Exhale, fold towards the mat, find your pyramid. Take another breath here. Maybe inhale, lengthen the spine a little more. Exhale, soften in. Now we drop towards the floor, releasing the right knee down, but we lift through the arms, Anjaneyasana. Take the breath into the body, and then cycle to that Skandasana skater's pose, facing the long edge of the mat. Skate to the front of the mat. Pivot to face the front short edge, drop the left knee. There's your low lunge, lift the arms, breathe in. Exhale, pyramid, hands down, lift that back knee. Find the structure of your pyramid, breathe into it, and then soften and deepen. Keep the right hand down, open to your triangle pose, lifting that left arm. As you inhale, lifting through the left arm. Exhale, drop into your goddess, facing that long edge. Breath in here. Exhale, step to the front of the mat, reach the arms up, second side, fold right. And lift. And fold left. Feel that moon energy. How is it different than the sun salutations? Step the right foot back and wide, drop into your goddess. Feel that feminine cyclical energy as you find your triangle facing the back of your mat. Let the poses bleed into each other. One phasing into the next, shift to pyramid pose. You're facing the back of your mat space. Inhale here. Exhale, soften that left knee. Let it find the mat, but then bring the energy up as the arms rise. And then shift into that skater pose. Keep it really fluid. Move to the next skater, front of the mat. Shift to the front of the mat, drop that back knee. Inhale, energy lifts, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands down, finding that pyramid, legs strong, but also this sense of surrendering into the shape. This pose phases into triangle pose, right arm lifting to ceiling. And then you lift up, but you immediately melt to the goddess. You inhale here. You exhale, you close it all out, stepping to Samastitihi. Release the arms, close the eyes, feeling the earth coming up through the soles of the feet. Feeling the fire and the beat of your heart. Maybe that slight sense of heat on the texture of your skin. Feeling the moon and that sense of fluidity, of cycling through all the elements of the practice. Blinking open the eyes, inhale, sweep the arms out and up. We're journeying down to the mat. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, take a last half lift here. Exhale, plant the hands and just walk your feet back and lower your knees to the center of your mat, settling into hero's pose. Good. So we're going to work with a back bending pose that has a more restorative element, even though it is still challenging. If you have a block, I would highly encourage using it. If you don't have a block, you could roll a blanket as well, okay? So we're going to be working with a supported Kapotasana. So I am going to bring my hips in between my heels, okay? If this is a total no-go for knees and ankles, take Baddha Konasana, bringing your legs into more of that diamond shape, and you can do this posture from here, okay? I'm going to take my block and bring it behind me, and I want it to be in a landing spot about where my sports bra or the backs of my ribs are. And I'm going to start to guide myself back a little bit at first. Maybe this is enough for you. If you're going to go lower, I would suggest a little tuck of the tailbone. And then again, hopefully that block is there to land right near the back of the heart. And then I start to let my head soften back and down and let my arms fall out to the side. If you really want a deep opening here, you could hold opposite elbows and let the arms fall overhead. So I'm going to lift up so that I can see my clock, because I know what time we entered. And I want us to be here for a total of about 1 minute and 15 seconds, which means you're in your final 30 seconds now here. And see if you can feel how all of the elements are present in this shape. See where you're being supported, that expression of the earth element. See where you're being challenged, what's transforming. The heat of the fire element, the sun.
and see what's shifting, allowing that cyclical journey to happen. Moon energy. Last breath in and out. And then start to bring your arms alongside you. Really think of your arms as allies as you recruit the arms to help lift you out of the posture. And my favorite way to come in as gently as I can is to push down through my fingertips to release my pelvis. And then I'm simply going to swing my legs around and out in front of me for a Baddha Konasana. I'm going to move any extra flesh out of the way here, and I'm starting with more of a diamond shape. I'm going to interlace my hands around the tops of my toes, take a nice breath in, and exhale, start to round and fold myself forward. 5 deep breaths here. And to me, this practice that we've done today, this Earth, Sun, Moon practice, has ultimately been a reminder of how connected we are with the natural world around us. As you inhale, lengthen out through the crown of the head, start to float out and up. We're going to swing the legs to the left for Bharadvajasana. So swinging the feet over, legs over to the left. Arms can sweep out and up. And we'll take an open twist, left hand to that right knee, right arm behind, and find that twist. Every season has aspects that connect to our internal selves, have emotional qualities, physical consequences, impacts on our practice and on our diet. Looking forward, start to soften out of that twist. As you bring the legs forward, this time I want you to take a more compact Baddha Konasana. So the heel's a little closer towards the pubic bone. And again, holding on to the front of my toes, I take that breath in. And this pose feels a little bit more constrictive. I don't go as far, but I also feel it in a more amplified way in certain areas of my body. So I'm going to really drop into that. Noticing where the volume turned up in my body. And experimenting with amplifying the breath, where that volume of sensation turned up. And then as I exit, I again see if I can lengthen outward before I rise up, and then swing the legs to the right for Bharadvajasana on the second side. So my left hip is on the mat as I sweep the arms out and up, and I open into that twist, right arm forward, left arm back. And often, in order to feel truly balanced, when we're feeling the energy of the moon, to feel balanced, we need to welcome in a little bit of sun in the practice, and vice versa. Looking forward, starting to release out of the spine. I'm going to invite you to find your way onto your back for Shavasana. I'm going to stay seated so that my voice stays clear for you. Any supports that would be welcomed for Shavasana, bring those in. And instead of just dropping immediately into Shavasana, we're going to do a few rounds of 4-7-8 breath, which is a pranayama practice that uses the tool of counting. This is a very soothing, restorative breathing practice. So I'll do all the counting. All you need to do is follow along. We'll inhale for 4, hold that top of the inhale for 7, and then exhale for a count of 8, and then immediately inhale for the 4. To prepare, just take a normal breath in. and a normal breath out. And then we begin inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. You hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 2, 3, 4. You're holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 more rounds. Inhale 2, 3, 4. You're holding breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, last round. 3, 4, holding breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale fully. Hold for as long as is comfortable in your body. When you don't think you can hold anymore, take in a tiny sip of air and then exhale slowly, completely unrushed. And when you think you've exhaled all the air out, draw the belly button in. And then return to your natural, uncontrolled breath, completely at ease. Allow the body to feel a sense of surrender. Welcoming in the support of Mother Earth underneath you, holding you as its baby, nurturing you. Reflect on the sense of light and luminosity within you. A piece of the sun energy that you carry inside of your heart as a seed for change and transformation. And acknowledging the existence of cycles in your life, the inevitable coming and going of all things, and letting things come and go as gracefully as the moon welcomes each of its phases in due course. Holding within you this connection to earth, to sun, and to moon. Without moving your physical body, allow the enlivening breath to begin to deepen and become more conscious. From the deeper breathing, welcome in subtle movement through the fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. And then in your own way and in your own time, begin to gather yourself and rise back up into a comfortable seat. Bringing the palms of our hands together, which is a gesture of so many things, body and mind coming together, sun and moon, this unification of all of the parts of ourselves. And from this place of unity, we send out a blessing that the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light, which sounds like these 4 words in Sanskrit. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Victory to all of our practices.